I know our first guest knows a thing or two about the unraveling of the lies of the now discredited Russia collusion narrative. He's Congressman Andy Biggs of the great state of Arizona, who helped Congress unravel that great hoax. Congressman, great to have you on tonight.
John, Amanda, great to be with you.
I want to turn to the border crisis in a second, but first, when you hear the Clinton campaign now wanting to assert privilege over things they leaked for years to dirty up Donald Trump, what's your reaction?
Hey, I think their attorneys missed that 15 minutes in an ethics class, which tells you that you waive the privilege when you start leaking it, or you even have somebody present while you're discussing it. That's not part of the attorney-client relationship. Yeah, I just got a big kick out of it because you look at it and you say, these folks have been foisting a fraud on the United States of America. And if in the case of the Clintons, literally for decades, but this is just a fraud they're trying to perpetrate on the court. And I don't think it's going to be a winner. I think they're going to lose on that. And, it's starting to unravel for them pretty quickly, and they just don't want the truth to come out.
Congressman, it absolutely is unraveling. And I'm seeing more and more as tidbits of information come out. It seems like Michael Sussman is the guy who's going to be holding the bag. We're about a month out from his trial where he's going to be defending himself against charges of lying to the FBI. Is he the fall guy?
Yeah, look, right now he's the guy in the frame. And so they try to keep somebody in the frame so everybody else can kind of get away with the crimes that they got away with. But, Sussman got stuck yesterday when Cooper wrote his opinion denying the motion to dismiss, because he basically said that the case, you can't come in now and say that you didn't lie to the FBI and it wasn't material, when in fact, as Judge Cooper noted, the whole investigation was based on your misinformation to the FBI. So I think it's going to unravel, and I think they're going to keep Sussman in the frame. They're content to do that. The question is Sussman willing to stay there in that frame?
Yeah, he may roll up a deal. We'll have to keep an eye on that development as that trial draws closer. I want to take you to the border. Arizona bears such an enormous brunt of the open border policies of this president. Last night, we broke a story here that of those 221,000 illegal aliens that crossed the border and got encountered by our Border Patrol last month, only 199 were actually put into the Remain in Mexico protocol, even though the administration keeps telling the courts, we are running it. We are complying with your orders to keep it going. When you hear 199 out of 221,000, like less than 0.1%, are they really running the Remain in Mexico program right now?
No, they're not. In fact, they're using every process they can to dissuade the Border Patrol in every sector along the southern border from using the Remain in Mexico policy. So when I was down on the border last week, visiting with all kinds of folks, I can tell you this: the number under the previous administration, under Trump, was in some sectors 250 to 350 a day they were sending back with the Remain in Mexico policy. And the reason they could do that is they weren't overrun, and where they were, it only took an hour and a half to process. Under this administration, with all of the additional regulations and paperwork and bureaucratic snafus that they've got going on, it takes 8 hours to process someone to remain in Mexico. And they've also capped the sectors at 10 per day. So nobody has the personnel to spend all this time, 8 hours a day. That's one whole shift practically for an agent to send somebody back. They just don't have the staffing power to do that. So it's obvious that this administration wants an open border. This is purposeful, and to put in those kind of policies indicates to me this is a willful crisis that they've caused. And in my opinion, they're in contempt of court.
Wow.
Yeah, but Congressman, it doesn't seem popular. You look at national polling, and I have to imagine that mirrors the way that Arizonans feel with regards to illegal immigration. Do you think that this is going to have a large bearing on the midterms? Because you've got two Democrat senators who have urged against lifting Title 42, one of whom, Mark Kelly, is up for re-election. Is this going to play a major role in the midterms?
Amanda, it's going to be huge. And one way that I know it's going to be huge is all of a sudden Mark Kelly, who usually keeps in a bunker somewhere, not wanting to reveal his positions on anything, is out there begging, please, whatever you do, don't get rid of Title 42. He probably is unaware of this, but in Yuma sector, for instance, which is in Arizona, only about 5% of people even qualify for Title 42. But elsewhere along the border, it adds up to about a half of the people coming across can be turned away under Title 42. So I look at it and I say, wow, this is Mark Kelly acknowledging this. And there's probably another 9 or 10 Democrat senators. There's a bunch of Democrat members of the House. They know this is a huge issue. They know that they've messed up the border in a way that's almost irredeemable at this point. So it's going to be huge, Amanda.
Yeah, no, it really is. And you see now, in the absence of the federal government doing its job, states are stepping into the void. Your state has been the leader on so many of the issues. 26 governors, including Arizona's governor, yesterday launched a border strike task force to try to secure the border in spite of the United States government. The fact that states have to go to that level to do something that the federal government was created to do, what does that say about the state of our Washington?
Well, it says that we're in disarray, certainly on the border, and well, a whole plethora of issues, but certainly on the border. This, in my opinion, is an Article 4, Section 4 constitutional invasion. And the states have every prerogative, in my opinion, to go about enforcing immigration laws on the border to protect their states from this influx. And it is a huge influx. Every time I'm down there, I just can't believe what I see and talking to people. So, yeah, I applaud that, but I don't think it's near enough. We're going to have to really start stepping up and just telling people you cannot enter. And believe it or not, when we've done that on the border, people actually turn away. The cartels lose some of their business.
Congressman, as we head into, 7 months out from midterm, 6 months out, unbelievable that it has crept up on us. But a lot of Republicans, over the course of my life, at least the last 30, 40 years, seem to have always been on defense. And you look at what the Biden administration has done, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit of things that we can criticize and say we're against that. But as far as going on offense, for Republicans who are up against a re-election campaign, how do you message in a more positive way?
Well, I've actually drafted something that I call the America First Plan, Amanda, and what it does is it sets forth a certain set of positive principles, the way that we're for low inflation, we're for a good economy, we're for more jobs, we're for securing the border, we're for free parental education freedom, right? We're for those types of things. We're for low crime rates. And there are so many ways that we can affect policy at the federal level. Even though Joe Biden will veto this stuff, there are ways and mechanics to get in there and make this stuff work to the best of our ability. And you know what? Most Americans believe everything I just said. There are ways to restore our stature and the international realm, which have been emasculated under this president. So, yeah, there are some real positive things out there, and we could get to work on them right away. How about opening up the energy sector? Again, that would solve so many of our economic problems, and including our supply chain crises.
Well, there you go, folks. There is a positive agenda for the election in November, right? Delivered right by Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, always great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, John and Amanda.